Gentlemen, let me tell you something. When a man misses someone he truly cares about, he doesn't always come out and say it. No. He doesn't send a long message pouring out his emotions. He doesn't call up crying, and he sure doesn't post it all over social media. That ain't how most men operate. But if you pay attention, real attention, you'll see it in the silence. You'll feel it in the things he does when nobody's watching. A man's silence isn't always emptiness. It can be full of emotion. That quiet space where you think nothing is happening is often where everything is happening for him. When a man is silent, people assume he has nothing to say. But the truth is that silence is heavy. It carries weight, memories, regrets, and emotions he can't put into words. Most men aren't taught how to express their feelings. They're taught to stay strong, stay composed, never show too much. But that doesn't mean they're not feeling deeply. Silence for a man who misses you is his version of a love letter he never sends. It's the message he rewrites over and over in his head, but can't find the courage to send. It's in the way he pauses when someone mentions your name, the way he suddenly zones out when something reminds him of you. That silence is not him being cold. It's him being overwhelmed. When a man truly misses you, his silence becomes louder than words. It shows in how he changes. Maybe he used to call every morning and now he doesn't, but he still checks his phone, still looks at your last message, still wonders if you're thinking about him too. He might pretend he's okay, laugh with his friends, keep up the same routine, but the spark won't be there. Something will always seem a little off, a little dull, because you're not around. And he won't tell anyone. He'll carry that weight quietly, like a man does when he's been hit by something he can't quite shake off. People will think he's fine, but you'll know better. You'll see the signs if you're really watching. The silence isn't just emptiness. It's noise turned inward. He might be scrolling through your pictures late at night, smiling to himself, thinking about how you used to laugh, how your eyes looked when you were mad, how you always knew what to say when he was lost. He won't like the photos, won't comment, won't reach out, but he's there, silently, missing you, thinking about everything he didn't say when he had the chance. A man can stand in a crowded room and still feel completely alone when he's missing someone he can't talk to anymore. That's a different kind of loneliness, one that speaks louder than anything he could ever say. Sometimes his silence will make you question everything. You'll think he doesn't care, that he moved on, that he forgot you like you were just another chapter. But the truth is, men miss different. He won't cry in public. He won't talk to 10 friends about you. He won't post a sad quote. He'll suffer in silence. He'll overthink, overanalyze, relive every moment he shared with you. And he'll do it all without making a sound. Not because he doesn't care, but because he cares too much. Because admitting he misses you would mean admitting he lost something he didn't want to lose. There's a stillness in a man's world when he's missing someone real. It changes how he moves, how he talks, even how he breathes. And you may never hear it from him, but you'll feel it. You'll feel it when you randomly think of him. You'll feel it when he suddenly watches your story but doesn't say anything. You'll feel it when your soul stirs at 2 a.m. and you wonder if he's thinking about you too. That's not coincidence. That's connection. A silent kind. The kind that never really fades, even if the words are gone. So when a man is quiet, don't always mistake it for indifference. Sometimes silence is the only language he has left. And if you ever truly mattered to him, his silence will echo with everything he never had the strength to say out loud. Real love doesn't always speak. It shows up in quiet actions. It's not always in the grand gestures, the poetic words, or the loud declarations. Sometimes it's in the smallest, most unnoticed things a man does when he's missing someone he truly cares about. Love, for a man who doesn't always know how to express it, becomes something he shows, not something he says. He might not text you every morning or write long paragraphs about how he feels, but he will keep you in his routine in subtle ways. He'll wear the shirt you liked. He'll drive the long way home just to pass by a place that reminds him of you. He'll play that one song on repeat, the one that always made you smile. And when he does these things, he won't tell a soul. He won't even admit it to himself. But every time he does, it's his heart trying to feel close to yours again. When a man misses you in silence, his love becomes visible through his actions. You might see his name pop up in your notifications, not with a message, but as someone who viewed your story. You might notice him liking something on your feed that has nothing to do with him, just a quiet way of saying, I'm still here. And when he hears something funny, something he knows would have made you laugh, he might smile to himself and then look around, realizing you're not there. That's the kind of moment that hits deep. It's not dramatic. It's not loud. It's not something he shares, but it means everything. Because he's still carrying you with him in his thoughts, in his memories, in his day-to-day. He may look the same to the world. He may still show up to work, hang out with friends, and post like everything's fine. But deep down, things are different. Because once you've felt real love, once you've had someone who touched your soul, you don't just move on like nothing happened. He'll start comparing, not on purpose, but automatically. The way someone talks, the way they look at him, the energy they bring, it won't match yours, it can't. And even if he meets someone new, there will be moments when he zones out, remembering how you used to talk to him when he was going through something, how your voice calmed him down, how your silence wasn't awkward, it was peaceful. If he's missing you, he may find himself pulling back from others without realizing it. He'll become quieter, more thoughtful, maybe even distracted. He might start listening to old voice notes or scrolling through pictures he saved but never deleted. And every time he does, it's not just nostalgia. It's love still alive, still present, still unspoken. He might try to distract himself, keep busy, avoid anything that reminds him of you. But the truth is, the heart doesn't forget someone who mattered. And his actions, no matter how small, will tell the story he doesn't know how to say. There's also a protective instinct in men. Even when they miss you, they might not reach out because they don't want to hurt you or they feel they already did. So they stay silent, not because they don't care, but because they care too much. They think silence will make it easier for you, or maybe they believe you've already moved on. But the love doesn't go away. It lingers in everything they do, from the songs they listen to the routes they take, to the moments they pause and just stare at the ceiling, wondering how you are. Real love shows up differently in men who don't talk much. It's not about words. It's about consistency. It's about presence, even in absence. So if you ever find yourself wondering whether he misses you, look beyond what he says. Watch how he moves. Listen to the quiet. Pay attention to what he doesn't say, because sometimes silence is where the truest love hides. Waiting, hoping, remembering. And sometimes that quiet love is louder than anything he could ever put into words. If he misses you, his routine will shift even if he doesn't say a word. He might try to keep everything the same, might act like nothing has changed, but deep down, everything feels different to him. When a man is used to having you in his world, your voice, your laughter, your presence, it's impossible to go back to life as usual without something feeling off. The places he goes don't feel the same anymore. The things that used to make him smile now feel a little empty. He starts to notice the gaps, those little moments where you used to exist. That's when it hits him. Not all at once, but slowly, quietly. It sneaks up on him when he's not busy, when the world gets quiet. That's when your absence becomes the loudest. He might get up at the same time, go to work, and hang out with the same friends, but everything feels just a little less colorful. He'll go to that coffee shop you both liked and stare at the chair you used to sit in. He'll find himself walking slower, thinking longer, and wondering what you're doing. Not because he planned to miss you, but because your presence had become a part of his everyday life. And now, without you, nothing feels quite right. Even the music sounds different. He might be driving home and hear a song that you used to love, and suddenly he'll get quiet. That one song will take him back to the way you used to sing along, or the way you'd squeeze his hand at that one part. And he won't tell anyone. He'll just sit with it, feel it, let it take over for a moment. That's what missing someone silently looks like. His routine may look the same on the outside, but it changes in all the subtle ways. The way he checks his phone, hoping to see your name pop up. The way he scrolls through old pictures, not even realizing how long he's been staring. The way he avoids places you used to go together, or sometimes the way he seeks them out just to feel a trace of you. He might stop wearing certain things, or start wearing things you once complimented. These are the quiet shifts, the invisible signs that he's still connected to you even if he's not saying it out loud. People around him might not even notice, but if you knew him deeply, you would. You'd feel it in how distant he becomes. Not because he doesn't care, but because he cares too much. And that caring doesn't have an outlet anymore. He might post less, laugh less, even sleep less, because when a man is missing you silently, his peace is interrupted. He's thinking more than usual. He's feeling more than he knows how to handle, and he doesn't always know what to do with it. So he lets the routine carry him, hoping that somewhere along the way, the ache will ease. But when love was real, it doesn't fade with time. It stays tucked inside his day-to-day, showing up in the quietest, most personal ways. Sometimes missing you becomes part of his routine, waking up and thinking about you, getting through the day with a piece of you still lingering in his mind, falling asleep wondering if you miss him too. That routine becomes a cycle, a pattern he never expected to fall into. He might not say a single word about it, but everything about him changes. His timing, his focus, even the energy he brings to the things he once loved, because you were part of his rhythm. And now that you're gone, the music has changed. You don't have to hear him say it to know he misses you. Watch how his routine bends around your absence. Watch how he still holds space for you, even in silence. Because when a man is truly affected by someone, his world shifts quietly, deeply, and without needing to be explained. He'll stay connected to your world even without direct contact. That's the part most people don't see. When a man is missing you, he doesn't always pick up the phone or knock on your door. Instead, he lingers quietly at the edges of your life. He wants to know how you're doing, wants to see if you're happy, if you're okay without him. He may not speak to you, but he stays near in ways that don't require words. Maybe he checks your social media late at night, making sure your light hasn't dimmed. Maybe he sees your name pop up, and his heart does that quiet little flip, the one he tries to ignore. And even though he says nothing, he watches, not out of obsession, but out of love that hasn't found its way to peace yet. He might run into your friends and ask about you without sounding too interested. He'll act casual, but his eyes will search for answers. When your name comes up, he won't say much, but his whole energy will shift. Because even though time has passed, even though things have changed, part of him is still tied to your presence. He might keep things you gave him or things that remind him of you. A photo in a drawer, a song on a playlist, a jacket he hasn't worn since the last time you saw each other. He doesn't get rid of those things. He can't. They're all little anchors to a time that meant more than he ever said out loud. He might still follow your favorite places online or go to the restaurant where you celebrated that one special night. He won't make a scene, won't bring it up to anyone, but those places hold pieces of you. And going there feels like visiting a memory he doesn't want to forget. Even if the two of you haven't spoken in weeks or months, even if everything seems over, he's still checking in silently. He wants to know if someone new is making you smile. He wants to know if you're healing, or if maybe you still think of him too. And even though he says nothing, even though he pretends he's moved on, you're still a part of his everyday thoughts. When a man misses you deeply, he doesn't always come forward. Sometimes he stays in the shadows, hoping not to disturb your peace, but also hoping not to be forgotten. He might see a picture of you laughing and feel something twist in his chest. Not because he doesn't want you to be happy, but because he used to be the reason. He might replay conversations in his head, wondering what he should have said differently, what he could have done better. And those thoughts don't go away just because he's silent. In fact, they grow louder in the quiet. His silence is not indifference. It's a kind of presence that stays close without getting too near. He'll remain connected to your energy. Maybe he doesn't message you anymore, but he'll still be the first to view your story. Maybe he doesn't like your photos, but he sees them all. Every word you write, every smile you post, every sign of growth, you better believe he notices. He watches from a distance, not because he wants to, but because he feels like he has to. Maybe pride keeps him quiet, maybe fear, maybe regret. But the distance doesn't mean he doesn't care. It just means he doesn't know how to bridge the gap anymore. Some connections don't fade just because the communication stops. Some hearts stay tied even when life pulls two people apart. And a man who misses you won't always tell you, but he'll remain part of your orbit, quietly circling, quietly hoping, not for drama, not for attention, but just to feel close to something that once felt like home. That kind of presence, soft, distant, silent, is where his love still breathes. Not in loud declarations, but in the quiet ways he chooses to stay near. His pride may stop his mouth, but not his heart. That's something most people overlook when they try to understand men. Pride runs deep. It's been built in them over years of being told to be strong, to never show too much emotion, to never let anyone see them broken. So when a man misses someone, when he's hurting because you're not around anymore, his pride is often the first wall that goes up. He may feel everything, longing, regret, sorrow, but his pride tells him to stay silent. It convinces him that reaching out would look weak, that admitting he misses you would be a loss, so he doesn't say anything. He just feels it all in silence. But what his mouth won't say, his heart will still carry. That's why even if he says he's fine, even if he looks like he's moved on, there's something in his energy that tells a different story. He might avoid talking about you, avoid your name, avoid the subject altogether, but when someone brings you up, his eyes will shift. His expression will change for just a second. That 1 second tells the truth, because pride can keep his voice steady, but it can't hide what's behind his eyes. And when he's alone, away from the noise, that's when his heart speaks loudest. That's when the memories come flooding in. He remembers the little things, the sound of your laugh, the way you looked at him when you were proud, the way you stayed silent when words weren't needed. Those aren't things a man forgets, and no amount of pride can erase them. He may act cold, he may act distant, but pride isn't absence, it's armor. It's how he protects himself from vulnerability. He could be checking your profile every day, hearing songs that remind him of you, thinking about what he'd say if he had the courage to say anything at all. But pride pulls him back. It makes him question himself. What if she's better without me? What if I already lost her? What if she doesn't care anymore? And those questions build walls around his heart. So he stays silent, not because he doesn't miss you, but because he doesn't know how to let you see that weakness. Sometimes he'll talk to others about you in a roundabout way. He might bring you up casually, ask someone else if you're okay, pretend it's not a big deal, but the fact that he asks at all means everything. He wants to know. He still cares. And maybe he plays it off with a joke or a shrug, but his heart is still wrapped around the thought of you. Pride tells him not to chase, not to appear desperate, not to reopen wounds. But his heart is stuck in moments that haven't left him yet. A man's pride is loud, but his love is louder. It's just hidden behind layers of fear, ego, and the belief that silence is safer. He may post like he's happy, act like he's living his best life, even smile when he runs into mutual friends. But if you mattered to him, really mattered, he's feeling everything in silence. There are nights he lays awake, replaying old conversations in his head. There are days he wonders what you're doing, who you're with, and if you ever think about him. And no matter how much pride he has, he can't stop those thoughts. He can't stop his heart from feeling. So even if he never reaches out, never admits it, never says the words you were hoping for, just know that his silence is not empty. His pride may be keeping him quiet, but his heart is still speaking your name. Not in shouts, not in calls, but in quiet moments, in long stares, in breathless pauses. And those are the places where the truth hides, even when his pride won't let it show. A man in love often shows it in the quiet ways he moves around your absence. He doesn't always say the words. He might not write a message or confess how much he still feels, but his actions, subtle, soft, almost invisible to the untrained eye, begin to speak louder than anything he could ever say. It's in how he pauses before he walks past that one place where you both used to go. It's in how he stares at the photo of you that he hasn't deleted, even though everything else is gone. That's not just holding on. It's loving in silence. When a man truly loves you, your absence becomes a shadow that follows him through everyday moments. He might be sitting in a crowded room, talking and laughing, but there's always a piece of him that's missing. And it's the piece you used to fill. He may walk by someone wearing your perfume and suddenly freeze, not because he wants to, but because something inside him remembers. He might avoid certain songs, certain movies, certain places, because they remind him of what once was. And sometimes he'll go out of his way to hear that song or visit that spot just to feel close to you for a moment. That's the kind of love that never really leaves. It hides in his habits. It lives in his breath. He might not even fully understand it himself. But his steps are different. His energy is different, because love doesn't always disappear with distance. It just transforms into something quieter, something deeper, something harder to explain. He may notice the weather more now, the way rain used to make you want to stay in and talk for hours, or how you loved the sun when it hit just right in the afternoon. He might stop scrolling when he sees something that reminds him of what made you smile. And though he may never comment or react, he feels it deeply.